All right, fantastic. So I'm Gail, and this is Kara, and my teammate is Brittany, and we're Epicedium Paranormal, and we are interviewing the Massachusetts Paranormal Academy. So you guys are paranormal investigators, researchers, and educators. Can you tell us a little bit about your team and how it came about?
So, funny story is on that one. Chris and we actually volunteered at the Oliver House over in Middleborough, and we came up with this idea to form a group. And we were watching the Umbrella Academy, go talking back and forth, and we're like, "Oh, we should make our own paranormal group. We'll just put, Massachusetts and paranormal, and we'll just call it the Academy and put it all together." So that's how we came up with our name. I've been probably doing this since 2008. I've been seeing stuff since I was probably 7 or 8 years old. The house I grew up in had a haunting in it. A lot of stories about that house, but we can go into that a little bit later if you want to.
Hell yeah.
I met Chris, like I said, at the Oliver House. Christine, we actually met at the Humphrey House over in Plainville. So I'm going to let the ladies introduce themselves.
I'm Chris. I've been doing this pretty much all my life. I've always been able to see things. I hear them, just in touch with them. And my parents, when I was little, never told me not to see my imaginary friends. So I never lost the ability. It's an ability that runs on my dad's side. And I got involved with the Oliver House like Paul did. I was there for about 5 years. And then we just kind of broke off and joined our own team. And I think COVID had a lot to do with why we kind of stepped back from the Oliver House, amongst other things. But that was kind of one of the main reasons. So, and we just, we're more like a family than anything, which is nice. So, if somebody does something shitty, we can say, "Hey, knock it off." Tell them right to their face that they're being like shitty, and not worry about stepping on anyone's toes. So that's kind of nice.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Christine, it's all yours.
Take it away.
My name is Christine. I'm, I guess, the newest member. I met Paul and Chris when they actually came to investigate my town museum. I was volunteer at the town museum, which is a building that was built about 1715. And Chris had reached out to us about doing an investigation, and I was all for it. I've been into the paranormal since I was a little kid, always dreamed about investigating, and Ghost Hunters was always one of my favorite shows. My grandparents' house was built in the 1800s, and I always felt like something was there. Nothing malicious, but always felt like something was there. And I've always felt like there was something at the Humphrey House. Watching over, keeping an eye on what we're doing, and being curious about what we're doing. And the investigation kind of reiterated that. And I asked when Chris and Paul and Steve came to do their reveal, I asked if I could join.
Love it. It's funny. It's like, I feel like most of us get into this through similar experiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all can vibe on that together. It's just fascinating.
Yeah, we're all sensitive and experience it one way or another, and piques our interest. So, as investigators, what's your philosophy? Do you tend to lean more towards scientific, spiritual, skeptic? How do you approach a situation?
Yeah, all that.
All of the above.
All of the above, yes. I don't think we don't label anything. We just kind of feel it out and do what we do. And we're constantly bouncing things off of one another to see if it will work. But I mean, I don't go into it saying, "Oh, I'm a scientist, I'm going to figure this out." Spiritually, yeah, okay, it's there, but I mean, if they're going to come to you, they come to you. I don't think the spirits care how you're doing it, as long as you're respectful of them. They're going to come and talk to you, and they want to tell their stories. They want to be heard because they know that history shoved a bunch of false truths down our throats, and they want to set it right. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, a lot of times I kind of say it's like we give the history and the voiceless voice that they don't have anymore, you know, through whatever means necessary.
Yeah, like, I mean, we you know, when we went to the Humphrey house, I went in there blind. I really didn't want to know the history too much. And we came across a spirit who he just wanted to be known. He wanted to show himself to us. And it was wild how it all happened. He showed us himself in a photo that was in a room we were investigating. And we had all the bells and whistles up there, all the blinky lights that everybody likes, and pendulum and whatnot. And we established that this particular spirit wanted to be known. And we went down to the downstairs part of the house, and all of a sudden we turn around and there's a diploma on the wall. And then there's a picture of him on a baseball team as we flip the picture around, and there's his name.
His graduation certificate was on the
wall. We
wall
found out
too.
that he was a but he was a war veteran, and he wasn't being recognized until we brought him forward. And then this past, it was like Memorial Day, right, Christine?
It was.
Yeah.
He finally had his own flag out in front of the house because they put on this huge flag display. And I don't know, it just warmed my heart that he reached out to us and we made him relevant again. So that was kind of cool, but there were other things in that house that go way back before Albert ever came into the picture. So
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, spirits, you know, their bodies might be gone, but they don't want to be forgotten. You know, like I look at that as like history. It's like we should be preserving their memory.
Yes.
You know, like just like buildings, like old buildings. It's like, let's preserve it all, people.
Paul went down a rabbit hole researching him.
Yeah. Yep. He's actually buried down at the National Cemetery down the Cape. I found out what plot number he was.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very
His
cool.
family's still in the area, so that's kind of neat.
Wow. Love that. It's funny. It's like a lot of people don't realize when it comes to like investigating, there's like a lot of empathy involved, or at least there should be. Like these were once people, majority of the time. So it's like, you know, let's feel bad. Let's commemorate them somehow, especially in this case. He's a veteran.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
Right.
So cool. Love it. All right.
Yeah, that was one of the more recent ones that it was just really neat.
Oh, it's like a full circle moment.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know, I connect a lot lately with the veterans because I had a similar experience at the Murdoch Whitney house.
Oh, yeah, we love that place.
You did.
Yeah.
Damn. Tell us more. Tell us.
That. I don't want to hog up all the airtime. Paul can talk. He was there too. So.
Did you talk to Georgie?
No, this was an actual like captain in the Navy, and he was up in the war room. And we were communicating with him, and for some reason I've really been relying on my pendulum a lot lately. And I had two other investigators up there with me, and every time I left the room, the pendulum would stop. I'd come back into the room near his picture. It would start again and actually being communicated. And the guys were recording it and they're like, holy crap, like we have something going on here.
Oh yeah.
So that was kind of neat.
Man, we've been in a lot of
So,
places. So
I don't know, just a lot of weird things. The basement, you will not catch me in the basement.
the basements are great.
I love basements.
Yeah, me too.
Freddy Krueger lives in basements. So
Boogeyman.
Yeah, but you also don't know what's buried down in those basements in the dirt floor either.
Literally.
No, quite literally.
we have headstones in the Humphrey House's basement, so definitely buried.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's wild. Wild. All right. Let's move on. You guys are okay with that?
Mhm.
So I saw on your guys' YouTube page multiple or all members, correct me if I'm wrong, doing the Estes method.
Oh gosh.
Did you guys, by any chance, draw any interesting conclusions from having majority of your team or all of your team do that?
Where do we begin with that one? So, all of our teammates.
Well, not only.
Go ahead. I got some stories.
We also had the people who worked at the Humphrey House were doing the Estes method too. We involved them because they spend more time there than anyone.
That makes
so
sense.
We're like, if they're going to communicate with anyone, they're going to communicate with them.
Right.
So.
Wow. Yeah, familiarity with people that are there all the time. Definitely. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, some of the names that we pulled out of there. Like we went to one of the rooms
Christine
and they
got most of the names.
Well, we had that picture of that little girl that was in the Girl Scouts hanging above the mantle.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my God, it's her name. And she was just telling her story about how her friend was in the house, and it was kind of weird and creepy at the same time. So
yeah, that's
yeah.
Cool.
And then we cut Chris's segment a little bit too short.
Is my Estes on the?
Your Estes is yeah. We just cut you a little short.
I really felt like I was on the verge of breaking through, and then all of a sudden they yanked me out of it, and I was like, ah.
We learned our lesson.
That's the worst.
But that just means we have to go back.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Estes is awesome. We love using that method. We were at have you guys ever done White Hill Mansion? Have you heard of that one?
No.
It's in Fieldsboro. We were doing Estes there, and we had 2 people under. We'd do a double Estes. We had one on AM sweep, one on FM sweep, and they said the same word at the same time.
Whew.
So we were just like, oh my gosh, that never happens. Oh my gosh.
We've only ever done that once in the Oliver House, and it was in 2 different rooms diagonal from each other. And we were using a walkie-talkie, asking the questions back and forth, and we were writing down the responses for each room to see if they actually matched. So,
yeah, there's a lot you can do with that method. We enjoy doing it. So I noticed on your Facebook page that you have a lot of posts regarding cryptids. Do you prefer investigating cryptids as opposed to ghosts? And also, which cryptid would you hope to see one day in the flesh?
Well, we've already seen puckwudgies, so.
Oh, no kidding?
Yeah.
They're rampant.
We saw one in the Oliver House in the driveway. We actually caught it on a picture.
And
really?
Yeah, one of the
what did it look like?
It didn't look like the pictures. I mean, it didn't look like a porcupine or anything. It was just a very small person. And I think I had baited the whole yard with like 2 pints of strawberries, because supposedly they like offerings. So I was trying to play nice with them. But it's just very small, kind of like a little hunched over figure, and they were fast. very fast. So
Yeah, I've seen them in little shadow form, probably about that tall.
yeah, they're
Walking
not
through,
big.
yeah, walking through different buildings, you can see them.
Wow.
So do you prefer the cryptids to the ghost hunting, or the
I
same?
like it all, to be honest. UFOs, we see stuff over here all the time, especially over 24.
What?
Oh yeah, you'll see UFOs over 24 if you drive by.
Wow.
So
Wow.
You get the weird lights.
yeah, the stuff I can't explain. It's a UFO. It didn't say it was alien.
I stick with the spirits.
Yeah, I tend to go towards that way too myself.
Right.
It's
Interesting.
just, they have a little more to say to you.
I know Steve, who's part of Group 2, actually likes the cryptid side of it more.
Mhm.
Brian's more ghost. Owen's just along to do whatever. He doesn't care. I think so.
So if you could see a cryptid, the three of you each answer, what cryptid would you most like to see, or capture evidence of?
The Loch Ness Monster.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Hell yeah.
I think I'd like to see a phoenix,
Ooh.
which actually I did see in the woods behind the Oliver House. So,
Really?
yeah, that was interesting. The Oliver House is crawling with cryptids.
Interesting. Phoenix. I never thought about that. In Missouri, the big thing is people see thunderbirds. So
Mhm.
kind of similar.
Thunderbird, yeah, same thing.
Huh.
What about
But,
you, Christine?
I'm not really from. I know of cryptids, but I'm not really that
In the
versed in them.
backyard of the Oliver House.
More with Paul. I have Scottish in my DNA, and I'd love to see the Loch Ness Monster. So I'm with Paul on that one.
Hell
That's
yeah.
a good one. You'd be rich if you could capture evidence of it.
I don't want to capture it. I want to ride it.
Now that would be a great picture.
That would be a great picture.
Yeah. Pictures or it didn't happen.
We got video cameras. You got to catch something on one of those things sooner or later.
For real.
So what piece of evidence stands out to you the most, and where did you capture it?
Whew.
Oh gosh, there's been so much. I mean, I have to say my Class A from like 6 years ago at the Oliver House. And I mean, we just have a lot of evidence from that place just because, I mean, I was there for over 5 years.
Yeah, it was
So
like a 5-year
became more
case
of a
study.
case study
Yeah.
than anything.
That's cool.
So yeah, that would be my piece.
What did you capture?
I caught a full-blown dinner party. That I have it on my phone, but I don't know how it would come across if I played it. We have women speaking, we have men speaking. We believe one of the voices may be Ben Franklin. They talk about Mr. Adams, which we know Sam Adams was in the house. I mean, the Olivers were like the Kennedys at the time, and they had all the heavy hitters there. So yeah, that would be my piece. Stuff I didn't get on film or audio. I mean, I've seen full-blown apparitions at that house.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's been interesting.
Paul, what about you?
Mine, I've caught a full body apparition on video at that house.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yes, you did.
She raised up from the floor like this. She turned her head. You could see her bun.
Yeah.
You could see her take one step up the stairs, put her hand on the railing, move her hand again, one more step, and she was gone.
Oh wow.
And then when she gets up to the top, you can hear it very faintly in the background. You can hear children talking to her. So yeah, that was crazy.
We also caught another clip. Oh, we caught a photo. I was coming up the stairs because I build out SLS cameras. That's what I do for fun. So I'm like, oh, I feel something behind me. So I'm sitting there clicking pictures with the SLS camera. I caught a little boy in a mirror. He was leaning over the doorway like this, and you could see his head, his torso, and nothing else. The funny thing is we sat on that for a while, and then we had other investigators come in there filming stuff. And we were just doing an EVP session upstairs, and we caught the little boy.
We were trying to get them ready for this group.
He comes across and says, "He caught me."
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And this is a little boy in the house that actually likes to play tag with you and hide and seek.
Oh, that's fun.
I love that.
But
So,
those are the two best things I've ever pulled out of somewhere.
so to get off topic, so you actually build the SLS cameras?
Yep.
What got you into doing that? I think that's fascinating.
So
We just actually got one.
What got me into building that is because I saw Nick Groff use it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I need to make this thing portable. I'm not carrying a laptop around. I'm not carrying a camera in both my hands. Because if I'm going to sit there and I'm going to drop this stuff to run, if something's coming after me, I'm going to make it so it's portable and it's easy to use. So now I have like 5 different versions that I have over here. I have a rolling cart one. Like, ever seen those rovers on wheels when you order the article and they have the monitors and stuff? Well, I have one of those over here that actually has a spot so you can put a Surface Pro on it.
Oh, nice.
And I can wheel it around. I got a treasure chest one. That's the main one,
heavy.
which is heavy. Yes, I agree. I just started building a new one where it's literally all plastic, so it doesn't weigh that much. And then I started building one out of a toy wooden castle that I bought from Michael's. So
That's
very cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to go from 2. The regular old SLS cameras could only map 2.
Mm-hmm.
With the new Xbox One camera, I can map 6 figures at a time.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a difference.
That's a game changer.
There's another mode in that makes it look like thermal camera. I call it the poor man thermal.
Mm-hmm.
So I flip it to that, but it also, you can change it to 3D mode where you can actually spin the room around and up and down, and you can look underneath stuff and on top of stuff. It's pretty cool.
That is
Very cool.
When you had it in 3D, that's when we caught the footsteps going across the floor.
Yes. So yeah, we did catch footsteps going across the floor in a bathroom at the Oliver House.
Nice.
I believe those are on our YouTube page. The only one that's not up there is the full body apparition, because I kind of made a deal with the person who runs the house where I wouldn't show that. So I said we made the agreement where it's part of the house. It's the house that wants us to show it. They'll let us show it other places, but I'm not going to post it. So
Right. Yeah.
But too many people would rip it apart, say it was fake. You know, because you have the trolls out there that want to just dispel everything that they see. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Just prove it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Lord.
So
To circle back around, Christine, what's your favorite thing that you've captured?
So it wasn't me that captured it. It was, of course, Chris and Paul and the team. But when they were revealing the evidence, the Humphrey House from 1930 into 1988 was actually the town's first library. I remember going in there when I was maybe 2 or 3, and that's the only memory I really have of it at that time. But when they were doing the SD session with one of our members, one of our commission members, she's a librarian, and she's sitting in our front room in the military room, and in between the questions, something goes, shh. And it wasn't any of us. None of us heard it when it happened, but they caught it on the camera. And when we played it back and I heard that, I'm like, it's one of the librarians from back then telling us, this is great.
That's hilarious.
All that is nobody reacted to it out loud. So as soon as you heard it come across, you're like, okay, that's legit.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
The
It was
librarians
actually
haven't
a lot that
changed.
night.
No, they haven't changed.
The librarians
All
haven't
these
changed.
they could be funny. Love it. Okay. You might have answered this before, but I don't know. I'm sure someone's got a strange experience, but what has been the strangest encounter that any member of your team has ever had to date?
Okay, I didn't catch all of that because it broke out.
What has been the strangest encounter that any member of your team has had ever to date?
Ooh, strangest.
Chris, you pulling me out of the house.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
That was not fun. We had a couple of like guest investigators one night, and we had come to the conclusion that there was a portal in part of the house, and there was a confrontation between the original homeowner and we believe somebody he employed there. And it got nasty, and Paul seemed to get in the middle of it. And this thing was growling at him, and then he started growling back, and I was like, no, I need to get him out of here. And I literally pulled him out of the house and got him outside to ground him. And he had like no recollection of a lot of what was happening. It was almost like he was having time slips. But it wasn't good for him mentally or me watching it mentally. And I was almost leery on touching him to get him out of the house, because I know a lot of times if you touch them, it will kind of get them stuck in that moment.
Right.
So it was like there was a lot of convincing to get him to leave the house. So
Yeah, and we caught that on an audio recorder. I was actually on Kindred Spirits with Adam and Amy for that.
Okay.
I don't remember anything other than me being outside. I remember being in that room, and that was about it.
Wow.
So
That's
I
crazy.
listened to the audio after I got it, and I was like, okay, evidently I growl like a dog. Oh.
Yeah.
I answered Chris's questions. She told me, she's like, you need to leave. And I said, no, I'm not leaving. And then the next thing I know, I was outside. So I don't remember saying any of this to her. So.
Right. Wow. Well,
That's
thank goodness.
the only creepy thing that's ever happened to me, other than the picture that I took in the closet there when I had double sets of eyes.
Ooh. I'd say that would rank, yeah.
That's pretty high up there.
That would be up there.
So I was in the closet upstairs in the Oliver house, and I took a picture of myself, and sure enough, I had two sets of pupils. One was blue, one was brown. My eyes are brown. No idea where the blue ones came from. So
that's crazy.
That's
Wow.
funny.
So
yeah, some weird stuff too happened up the street
oh,
in Middleborough, a private residence, and they were in the middle of like refurbishing a lot of the rooms, and they had pulled a bag of over 100 shoes out of the wall. Now these shoes dated back to, I don't even know how old they were. They were children's shoes, adult shoes, you name it. They were just 100 pairs of shoes.
Wow.
And then they had this old, it was an oubliette. Basically, it was an old fireplace that it came up so far. And I looked down it and I got sick to my stomach because it just smelled like death. And they actually ended up mapping something laying at the bottom of this thing. Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
yeah.
Nothing like that ever happened at the Humphrey house, though. We were all good there.
Minus the heat. Remember the heat?
Yeah,
with
but
the heat turning up.
Oh gosh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That was a little weird.
We
They didn't like being cold at night.
we opened the museum up on Wednesdays, and we had our monthly meeting the night before, and the town hall doesn't regulate the heat very well, and it was freezing cold in the town hall. It's a new building, but it was cold. And one of our members, who's also one of the volunteers, was complaining it was cold. So I got to the museum the next morning early because I had to move some stuff around, and this is in the summertime. What was it, August or July? I can't even remember.
It was
one.
July.
Yeah, and I'm moving stuff around, and I'm dying. I'm so hot, and I can't figure out why. I mean, it's hot in the house, but it shouldn't have been that hot. And then I heard clanging noises, which is the sound of the heat coming on. And there's no reason for the heat to come on. We actually have to pull a switch to turn the heat on and then turn the dial. It's an old-fashioned style. And I go over and I look at it, and the heat is up to like 75, 80 degrees. And I'm like, there's no way I could have hit this by accident. It can't do that. So I was texting the group chat saying, I'm just letting you guys know the heat came on randomly in the house, and Chris was down there in like 20 minutes to check on us to see if we were okay.
Wow.
Wow.
So, what do you feel is the most important thing any paranormal investigator should know?
To be respectful.
Ah,
Keep an open mind.
mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Know your surroundings.
Yeah.
Don't ever investigate by yourself. Make sure you're going in pairs. Because if you're investigating something and you pass out,
that's like number one.
You guys have no
Always
idea
have
what you
someone
are.
with you.
Yeah. I've been on an investigation before with the experience of a medium going into a full trance in front of like 6 people. And we were all like, are you okay? But thank God she wasn't alone. You know, we were all like, all right, let's get her out of here. Because I mean, she would have been like that for like hours, like just slumped over, not there. We were like, wow, insane.
We wouldn't know anything about that, Paul, would we?
No.
Oh, jeez.
What else? Chris said, "Be respectful." The dead are still technically living if you think about it. They're just in a different form. We could be dead to them for all they know. So,
yes, just like the movie The Others.
yes.
I love that movie.
I just rewatched it the other day. I was like, I love this movie. Like,
We're all actually dead and they're still alive,
Mm-hmm.
and vice
Well,
versa.
we used to say a lot of times was like, but we would always say, how are they seeing us? We might be the ghost to them. So,
Well, Chris, you also have your own little theory about the seasons. So,
yeah, on their side, everything's opposite. So we're in spring right now. We're in fall. So they're getting ready to harvest. And I mean, we would pick this up a lot at like old farmhouses where all of a sudden you're smelling apples and hay, and you know, you're picking up all the smells of like a harvest, and night is day. So, you know, everyone's like, well, why do you guys investigate at night? Well, if you think about it, if it's their daytime, they're going to be more active in the day than at night. So everything is flipped, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Interesting.
yeah, that is interesting. Huh.
So where do you see the paranormal field going within the next 5 years?
depends on what path you want to go down.
Fair.
Well, okay.
You either got your people that want to do it, your people that want to cause the drama, or your people that just don't believe in anything. I like learning the history of these places.
Yeah.
That's the huge thing why I got into it. Just to learn the history. Probably to get to know the people. But going 5 years from now, that's a tough one.
I see it not being as popular on TV anymore. I think that ship is sailing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
That ship's kind of sinking.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like
Definitely.
I don't even watch those ghost shows anymore.
It's hard to
No.
watch.
Yeah, and they're few and far between.
Yeah.
I like to. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, I don't. I just that's a hard one because I know there's a lot of younger people coming up, and with YouTube and what is the TikTok and all that. I can't even watch those because they're just doing it for clicks, and they just scream running through a building. I'm like literally waiting for one of them to go through a floor because they just run.
Yeah.
And I just can't take that serious because they're not being respectful at all.
Right. Yeah, that's
So
huge.
I think the TikToks and the YouTube channels are going to go first, and then it's going to trickle down to the TV shows one by one going away. That's just my thought. But
I'd like to see where AI is going to come into all of this, like in terms of development of equipment and stuff, with AI and imaging and it to see if there's any avenue for that. But who knows? It's beyond my pay grade. I'm just maybe Paul, maybe you can put it together.
Yeah. I was also going to say it's also going to make it easier for people to fake stuff.
Yeah.
bingo. Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one thing I will never do. I will never fake a piece of evidence. If it's not good, I don't put it out.
Right.
If it's good, I'm going to put it out no matter what anyway.
Mhm.
And I was starting to do that with the paranormal with our YouTube page, and I'm like, I started editing us. Us as people, we like to curse. All right. I'm not going to sit there and edit it because I'm out in the field. If something scares the crap out of me, I'm going to sit there and swear. So I put a rating on it. If kids are watching it, I can't control that.
Right.
So I'm going to keep it real as it is. So.
And that's why I sound like SpongeBob dolphin noises because I swear the whole night.
I love it. That's a very human reaction.
Chris, you want to go to the basement? Nope, 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 nope.
I love it.
No, the basement's bad.
Oh, that's funny.
It's better than running up the flight of stairs in a horror movie first.
No, I would so trip and I would be the first one dead.
No, you gotta remember, you guys gotta be faster than the person in front of you. While you push them, you can run over them and go.
I'm dead.
All right, Paul, I'll push you and then you can die first and then I'll make it up the stairs.
If I die first and I come back as a ghost, then I can fight them.
I love this.
We can't do anything to them. We just gotta, kill a gun or a sword, and then we can use it against them.
What is this turning into?
I know. All of a sudden, we got into some fantasy game, role play game.
Silly time. All right, I got a two-parter. What has been your guys' favorite location to investigate so far? So let's start with that. Who wants to go first?
I need to think about this one.
I want to say the Humphrey House because we had a lot
Favorite
of interaction
location
there.
for me, this goes way back. This was like when I was first starting out with a team, and it was a house in New Bedford, actually. No, it was Fall River, and the girl who lived there was moving out. Her dad had actually died on the property, and she wanted to know if he was okay. So we went into this completely empty house. It was like a 3-floor apartment. And I was sworn at a lot because we had found out that it had been a brothel. And the madame there did not like me being there. But we caught a man's voice when we asked if her dad was there, and he said, "I'm fine, I'm okay. Let her know I'm okay." When we played it back for this girl, she immediately broke down into tears. She said, "That's my dad's voice." And that, out of every place I've been, the historic places and that one private residence sealed the deal for me. That's my hands down favorite.
Makes sense. Powerful.
I actually have 3.
Oh, okay.
The Humphrey House, because it was never done. You know, walking into a brand new location that's never been investigated before, and you're the first group in there, and you pull out all this evidence, and you give it back to the client, and they're like, "Oh my god!" Especially with all the board members' eyes, they just lit up like it's in a candy store. It was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Another one was Sterling Opera House down in Derby, Connecticut.
Okay.
It was an opera house. It was a jail. You name it. It had everything in there. I was investigating with a fellow investigator. We were walking up the stairs, and I heard a woman's voice go, "Hello there," and there was nobody up there, like crystal clear, 5 feet from me. I could feel her. I could feel the when she was talking. I could feel it reverb in my ear. So that was kind of cool. Last one. Oh god, there's been so many places I've investigated. The Kinsale Inn down in Mattapoisett. I drove to pick up my buddy Eric. I was part of another group before this one. In a snowstorm. He wanted to cancel. He didn't want to go. And I'm like, "No, I'm coming to pick you up. We're going. This is a perfect opportunity. We're never going to be able to do this again." Picked him up in the snowstorm, went there. We had glasses dinging on the table in front of us. We were the only ones in the building. And we have it all on audio and video of this glass just clinging. And then you have footsteps above you and all of the stuff. So those are my 3 favorites out of them all.
Really
Nice.
Yeah. What about you, Christine?
I'm still so new that I've only done 2 places, and I don't even count the first one since I'm there every week. So I mean, I'm gonna play favorites just because I'm so connected to the Humphrey House, and ever since Mass Paranormal came through, I'm starting to notice a lot more, and I feel a lot more in the house. But we did check out what was okay, Paul. If I mess this up, you're gonna have to correct me. The Sealy Mill, but it wasn't the mill itself. It was the cemetery that we checked out afterwards back in February. And just walking into that cemetery, I felt pulled in there because there were so many kids' headstones, and it was a powerful feeling.
So there's a mill in Easton. It's called the Sealy Satanic Mill. The guy made a deal with the devil to have magical imps come in there and run the mill at night while he was not there. Everybody says it's not real, blah, blah, blah. But if you walk into where the ground is, you can actually see the outline of where the mill was made out of rocks. The foundation's still there. So the cemetery where he supposedly isn't buried is across the street, but there is a gravestone there with his name on it. And there was so many things going on in that cemetery when we went and investigated it. Steve had to leave the cemetery. He came back and he came barrel button in there, and I thought he was going to punch me in the face because he was so mad. And Steve never liked that on an investigation. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is your guys' top bucket list location to investigate? If you could choose anywhere.
I would love to do some of the castles in Europe.
Me too.
Like any of them.
Yeah.
But if I have to stay in the United States, Mackinac Island, I would love to go out there. Any of the old like mines in Oregon, just because I was such a huge ghost mine fan.
Yes.
I would love to check some of them out. And I'm actually still really good friends with a couple of the guys who were on the show.
Okay.
So I could kind of have like personal tour guides if I ever went out there.
Definitely.
And any place in New Orleans.
Yes. I love New Orleans.
Christine, I'll let you go first.
Okay.
That place is amazing. So,
Probably Myrtle's Plantation would be high on my list. That was actually I remember seeing, I think it was the History Channel doing a ghost video about it when I was a little kid. And I just like, that place looks so cool. I want to go there someday. So probably Myrtle's, and it's going to sound crazy, but I'd love to investigate Alcatraz.
Makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Paul?
I'm gonna go to Egypt, and I'm going to the pyramids.
Yeah.
Yeah. People think about investigating the pyramids in that way.
Yeah, I really want to hit that because there's a lot of sites over there that need some answers, spiritual wise, to find out what actually went on there, because it's a lot of lost history. I go Alcatraz 2 over here, but I'd hit Eloise first.
Eloise.
Yeah, I definitely want to go to where all those stones are buried underneath that giant field that they keep digging up plot numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mine.
yeah, I've got Gettysburg too.
Oh,
I want to go back to Gettysburg.
Yeah. Oh, Gettysburg is awesome.
It's very awesome.
Yeah, we love Gettysburg. So what's your favorite piece of equipment? Christine, we'll start with you.
I'm not going to be able to answer because I'm still so new, but I do like doing the SD sessions. It's disorienting, but I kind of like it. I don't know why. Something about it I kind of like doing. Like, I'm nervous about it, but at the same time, I'm ready to jump into it, except in the basement on that one. It's the only time I'll agree about the basement is I will not do an SD station in the basement.
What about you, Paul?
I'll let Chris go first. I'll let the ladies go first.
All right.
My 360, I think, has to be my favorite. I've had a lot of success with that piece of equipment. So
Makes sense.
Up to you, Paul.
My spectral cams that I build and myself.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you got to keep it old school. You got to keep all these high-tech gadgets out of it. You know, digital recorders. You know, just keep it simple. Have the experience. Actually enjoy it. Because why do we get into the field? To have fun.
I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
well, your body's your biggest barometer. I mean, you're going to feel the changes before a piece of equipment.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree.
So I know we already talked about the puck wedgies, but have you come across any energies that are other than human spirit?
Cat.
Okay. I
That
usually
thing in
don't.
the basement at the middle.
We have a ghost cat at the Humphrey House, apparently. We've heard it meowing a couple of times.
Oh,
Yeah, the elemental at the Murdoch Whitney house. That's in the
Yeah,
basement.
damn.
the one time I was in the basement, that thing was, no.
Yeah, that thing came across the camera and growled itself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
So this is kind of related.
That thing was no.
During every interview, we like to ask, what is your one, what we call the oh shit moment? Whoever wants to go first.
My oh shit moment, probably the very first time I realized that I could see spirits.
Oh yeah.
I think I was about, up until I was a little kid, I'd see them, but they were like, going to a playground and playing with someone. And then when I got older, I realized I couldn't tell everybody that I could do this because they'd make fun of you. So I choked it down for a number of years. And then I was staying at my aunt and uncle's house up in Maine, and had an interaction with the gentleman who had died in the driveway, and woke up the next morning and I was telling my aunt and uncle about this guy, and they said, "Was this him?" And they pulled out a picture. They said, "Yeah, that was him." And I think that was the biggest moment for me, where it was like, "Holy crap, I can still do this." So,
Oh yeah. Yeah. What about you, Paul?
Oof. Probably seeing that full body apparition pull a pocket watch out of his pocket, open it up, close it, put it back in, look up, smile, and disappear.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that was. And then come to find out, there was a picture of him in the house, and I was asked, "Is this him?" And I said yes.
Huh.
And then 3 weeks later, we caught him in the window on the second floor.
oh gosh,
Spectral cam, and Sherry was there, and you could zoom in and you can actually see his face. He's sitting sideways in the window.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
That's crazy. Wow. Christine, have you been doing it?
we'd been on the other side of the house, and I was like, nothing.
Sorry.
Have you been doing it long enough to have an oh shit moment?
Not as an adult, but probably when I was a kid. I was over a friend's house for her birthday party, and we went for a walk down the street. And we get to the top of the hill, and they were being slowpokes, and I ran ahead of them because I was hyped up on sugar. And I saw something. I was probably 12, maybe 11, and I saw something go across the street down at the bottom of the hill, and I thought it was a dog. And I ran down the hill yelling to my friends, "Did you guys see that?" And of course, they thought I was nuts. I get to the bottom of the hill, and it's fall, so you can see through the woods, you can see up and down the street, and there was no dog, there was no car, there was nothing. But I found out later on that the house right across the street from where we had stopped actually belonged to supposedly a witch from the 1700s who had been driven out of the house and lost her husband and son. And she never knew what happened to them. So now she walks up and down the street looking for her husband and son. And that was my, I think I actually saw something, and maybe this is actually something I can get into.
Hell yeah.
And that's always stayed with me.
Well, is there something you'd like to promote or share with everyone before we start to wrap up?
yeah, it's pretty much. I really don't have other than the group. That's about it.
Yeah, your YouTube channel. Mm-hmm.
Trying to get hits on that. It's those videos take a long time to do, as you guys know.
Yeah.
You could sit on a video. I just put the video up, I think, 3 weeks ago, and it took me 2 months to sit there and edit it the way I wanted it done.
Wow.
It's a labor of love.
And with everything going on with work, and I got kids, soccer, coaching, and all of that stuff. I don't have time to sit there and just do that full time and sitting there editing videos. So
Right.
when I put them up, and I feel bad for not putting them up sooner, but the lay of the land. So.
Yeah.
Can't spread yourself too thin either,
No.
Right. Right.
for sure.
Like evidence review, that everyone's like, oh, it only takes them like 45 minutes on a TV show, and it's like, yeah, no,
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, that's not reality.
no, it's more like months.
Oh, I know. Yeah, from filming with on Kindred Spirits, I was there
Takes us
5
forever.
days
Wow.
filming for a 20-second clip that I was in. That was it.
Damn.
So 5 days.
Wow.
During a heat wave.
Yes, during
Oh, is that during the rain or the...
no air conditioning. So
Of course not.
That was a 300-year-old house.
Yeah. Why don't you tell everybody what episode that is so everyone can look it up? You remember?
That is that's season 5, episode 2, Zombie Boy.
There you go.
Oh, I love the zombie boy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, Massachusetts Paranormal Academy, thank you so much.
Thank
You
you.
have
Thank you,
been a
ladies.
pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to remind everyone to subscribe, like, share, and click that notification button, and stay tuned for more interviews to come. Guys, be safe.
Thank you. You too.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.